Nick?
All right, we're all set to go. We'll go right to the top of the order once again. Dodge, Bowman, and Abel doing first with Rock and Fred. Jay Kessler, you're on deck. This will be Dodge, Bowman, and Abel with Rock and Fred.
Got a stud hooking on here. Buck Dodge is driving them. That stud's one of the ones that won the state championship here a month ago.
And they got it, 27.5 feet. Congratulations to Wayne Dodge. That's Dodge, Bowman, and Abel, Team 1.
This is Jay Kessler. Always one of the top entries. He's from just into Pennsylvania.
Qualified draw for Jay Kessler with Dick and Jimmy.
Can't think of the name now. It's from not far out of Corning.
Don't forget, coming up. Qualified draw there for Bill Howard with Frank and Sam. Armisen and Clark next.
So much pot in the air. You got Caleb Armisen hitching on. Chief and Tommy. No, not Chief. Tommy and Frank, maybe?
And another qualified draw for Armisen and Clark.
Got Jim walking out to the truck. Big Jim from Orville. Retired school bus driver. That's a lot of firewood and fence posts. Everybody's buddy. Donnie Meadows driving them in. The horses are Herm and King. King will be on the side toward the camera when they hitch on. A lot of people have somebody else drive their team in on this truck. It's just hard to
Qualified draw for Jim Perrin with Herm and
easier than it
King.
used to be to step up there, but because the truck used to be as high as
Jason Abel, you'll be doing next. And just a reminder to our teams, you have to wait trackside until...
Spotting the truck back at the other end. 3,400's the load. Jason Abel right here, he's going to hitch on.
This will be Jason Abel with Razor and Simon. Bill Howard, Team 2, you're on deck.
The truck is a lot different than the sled. It's a hydraulic resistance that was developed in the late teens at the University of Iowa to measure horsepower. Those weights go up, the hydraulic valve opens, and that determines how hard that's going to pull. It's a very consistent way of pulling.
No problem for Jason Abel with Razor and Simon. Bill Howard, Team 2 coming in next. This is Pete and Jim. Tony Solomon, you're on deck. And the Centerville connection in the hole. Here comes Pete and Jim.
I think it's a 5.9 Cummins in it, and they keep it in low gear forward, even though we pull it backwards. And that's part of how that truck operates. But you'll notice how that valve opens. I can't explain it all. The general idea, it's a hydraulic resistance. What do you think, Kaylee? Should I go get the team? They're on number 8 and we're 10.
Yeah, probably.
Wish us luck.
$27.5 feet. Tony Solomon with Princeton final.
Centerville Connection. Elvis from Ainsworth team and Bill. Say hi, Elvis.
I just grabbed the rope thing is nothing. Go!
Ignore that. What's up?
Qualified draw for Centerville Connection with Bill and Elvis. Greg Gearman 2 in next with Wyatt and Bud. Francis Root, you're on deck.
They walk them around again so that way it's more centered when they hook on and easier to pull. Ooh.
They got it. Greg Gearman with Wyatt and Bud. Qualified draw for that team.
This is Carl Root driving his dad Francis's team. They're from Bolivar. They've won everything there is to win in horse pulling through the years. The Root family guys. 3,400 pounds. Carl wasn't quite ready for that. I'm hip to that. Boy, my team's backing up too fast, Kaylee.
What do you do?
And just try to calm them down and back them up slower.
Come in a circle?
I might. Carl will get them this time.
Put up a qualified draw there for Francis Root with Skip and Mike.
Gonna spot the
Randy
sled.
Brundage doing next with Billy and Shooter.
Randy Brundage
Jason
and
Averill, you're on
Averill.
deck.
Room to go.
Nope.
We're staying here.
Brian says there's room to go. Best hitch on the track. Got to have enough room to get the horses out there and not hit that fence.
He's
There
a
is.
dedicated employee.
My boss in the woods, Brian Armisen, he's running the truck and judging today.
Pulling up.
Harold, let's try to look in the window. Harold, drawing a blank on Harold's last name.
Some friend you are.
Yeah, Brian's brother. Brian and Harold. Anyway, he's running the truck helping. Oh my God, I'm airheaded.
Yeah.
This is Randy Brundage from Ormond. In the truck.
23 feet 10. 23 feet 10 inches.
Harold Allen, he's driving the truck. Judges are officials here at the Erie County Fair.
All right, we're going to move on down to the other side with our machine. Jason Averill coming up next. Randy Brundage, you're on deck with your final
So
attempt.
that pull that Randy's team
Jason
just made
Averill doing
was
next with
really
Jimmy
good
and
on a
Eddie.
sled. You know, there's some room for tolerance there, but on that truck, you've got to get that weight to the top and keep it to the top. And it just, no room for bobble.
And again, 27.5 feet is the qualified draw distance. We are down to our final 2 teams to hook on this weight, judges.
Heard a couple things about the 27.5 feet. You know, they debated how far to go. Up in New England, they go towards 6 foot. I've even heard of 3 foot bulls. 20 foot down in Florida.
Looking for Jason Averill with Jimmy and Eddie.
10, 12 foot, 15 foot bulls out in the eastern part of New York here. We've always went 27.6, and that's what they settled on back in the old days when they made that dynamometer. They said it's far enough the team has to pull. They can't bump it that far. And yet, it's not so far that it's inhumane. And they said they put a lot of research into that. And I was talking to Lee Reichel, who has a great YouTube channel if you want to look it up sometime. Lee did a lot of research on that dynamometer. He said it was an arbitrary number. They had to come up with a number, and 26.76 sounded good, so they got it.
And they got it. Qualified draw for Jason Averill with Jimmy and Eddie.
My team could roll it that easy.
Randy Brundage is due in next with their 3rd attempt.
Ryan is Randy Brundage taking the 3rd hitch on 3,400. He's going to get them together, get it across. After Randy, we're going to add more weight and start from the top. Greg Gertman and Owen Armisen on the eveners. That one's just not starting. Boy, they try, but they just aren't hitting it hard enough to start. Randy will get some stuff adjusted and be back. Got another day.
4 foot 9 inches. How about a round of applause for that team, ladies and gentlemen? 4 foot 9 on that attempt. Longest distance for the team on that weight of 23 and 10. We'll go ahead and head back to the top of the order. Randy Wade coming up on a dynamometer. Welcome out to the Erie County Fair tonight. It's our lightweight horse fair competition. And fans, we certainly appreciate you being here to support not only agriculture here at the fair, but this great tradition of horse pulling. 3,600 now on the machine. 3,600.
What's that? Move that down or just move the lever to where it pulls harder? What's the adjustment?
We started the evening with 13 teams. We have 12 to hook.
You change these pins for different loads. Then there's pins on the other side to pull the 500-pound blocks up, and then we have the 100 up here on top.
Gotcha. That's our new load, 3,600.
And we're going to head to the top of the order. Dodge, Roman, and Averill will be first with Rock and Fred. Jay Kessler, you're on deck.
So you get first hitch, you take it where it is.
Taking off our weight of 3,600.
Second hitch, you can pass, come back at the end of the lineup, or take it where you ended up after your first.
And great work there for them. That's Dodge, Roman, and Averill. Rock and Fred on the
Your
qualified
options
draw.
are
Either
where the truck is at the time of your third hitch,
Bill Howard, team one, you're on deck.
Back here on the spot, which is all the way back. There's as much game within the game of figuring out where to take your hitch as anything else, really. I want to say Jay's from Orangeville, Pennsylvania, but he's not. That was his dad.
And they got it. Jay Kessler with Dick and Jimmy, qualified draw.
Rule of thumb.
We'll send the
pulling
machine to the
horses
other
on
side.
the truck.
Remind you, we've got plenty of great entertainment to round out the weekend here at the Erie County Fair. Saturday,
It takes a pretty
our
good
school bus
team
demolition
to cross
derby, and of
their
course,
weight
on Sunday,
on the
the
truck.
large demolition derby to wrap
So,
up the Erie
these
County Fair.
horses
And again, tickets are still available
Weigh
for both events.
34.25.
Your gate admission
And every
is
one of them
included
has crossed
when you
that
purchase
load.
a ticket for the grandstand
Tomorrow
event here
you'll
at the
see
Erie County
heavyweights
Fair.
that weigh quite a bit more. Sorry. What's up, camera girl? Shithead. What kind of a redneck is he?
With a 40-year-old man.
We're looking for Bill Howard,
Bet he got his
Team
ass
1 with
kicked.
Frank and Sam. Armisen and Clark, you're on deck.
Bobby Howard, team number 1. Here. Yes.
Watch out for the fence police. Pretty vicious these days.
Had a hard, did they have a hard time with 34?
No, we rolled 34 pretty nice. So I had everything adjusted and got them off that day.
You did.
Yeah. So right where the truck is now is where you'll have it on your third hitch. So you can take it either where it is at the time, or if you want it on the spot, it's where it sits now.
And a qualified draw for Bill Howard with Frank and Sam.
Tell you what, 3600 is pulling hard today on this truck.
Brings up Armisen and Clark with Charlie and Tommy. Jim Perrin, you're on deck.
Caleb Armisen here.
It's knowing how much it boosts his ego.
And they got it. Armisen and Clark, Charlie and Tommy on a qualified draw.
Charlie and Tommy there.
Jim Perrin.
Parenting first hitch on 3600. Herman King.
Herming,
Johnny
worming.
driving him in. Oh, that's a long way. Poor Jim. Oh,
7 feet even. 27 feet even. They're going to pass on their next attempt. That'll bring them back to the bottom of the order for their third draw a little bit later this evening. Again, 27 feet on that attempt. Ladies and gentlemen, moving our dynamometer to the other side, we will head to Jason Averill coming in next with Razor and Simon. Thanks for joining us over here at the Erie County Fair tonight. Tomorrow, another round of horse pulling gets underway at 1 o'clock. Our unlimited class, 9 teams expected to hook tomorrow. Looking for Jason Averill with Razor and Simon. Bill Howard, Team 2, you're on deck.
Wayne Dodge just driving in the Jason Averill. See that? It's hard to make those 2 steps and get your team hooked all over. It's a lot different than a level sled. So a lot of guys have somebody else driving. Jenkins looking even hers. I told Nick he better be like a midget at a urn, on his toes. Is that funny, kid?
The first one here.
Qualified draw for Jason Averill with Razor and Simon.
Good job, Razor.
Bill Howard, Team 2, coming in with Pete and Jim. Tony Solomon, you're on deck.
Gotta go get some horse.
qualified draw for Pete and Jim. Bill Howard, Team 2 doing the
Here comes Donnie to the rescue.
and 27.5 feet for Tony Solomon with Princeton final. Support of the hardworking kids of our 4-H and our FFA this Saturday at our livestock auction. Centerville Connection coming in next with Bill and Elvis.
Truck wasn't ready, Kelly.
Oh. Take two.
And another qualified draw, that Centerville Connection with Bill and Elvis. Greg Gutman coming in with Wyatt and Bud. And they got it. Greg Gutman with Wyatt and Bud. Francis Ruth coming in next with Skip.
Can't be that sloppy on the next one, Kaylee. Better get Elvis off right. I think that was my driving.
And a qualified draw for Francis Ruth with Skip and Mike.
Jason Abril latching on to 3,600. Last team to take the first hitch on this, but I think we have one third.
Sorry.
Quick work for them. That's Jason Abril with Jimmy and Eddie on a qualified draw.
Holy moly.
You're looking for Jim Perrin. Third attempt coming up on this weight for Jim Perrin. got it that time. Round of applause there for Jim Perrin. Getting it.
He's 10, just. He's 6.
Whoa. Whoa.
And Fred, all set to go. Jay Kessler on deck.
Whoa. Whoa. Ah.
First team on 38. The old stud on this side says he wants to pull it. Gotta give him a little slack on that truck. Not like a sled where you can get a tight hitch. It's hard for a logger guy like me to adjust to that. See? Backs him up. And you don't start slacking the wire.
And they got it on that attempt.
38's gonna.
Dodge, Bowman, and Averill a qualified draw for the first attempt with a 14 feet even. 14 even and a qualified draw on their second attempt. Moves us to Jay Kessler with Dick and Jimmy. Bill Howard, team one, you're on deck.
Had a twisted snaffle in him. And that should get him off a little better. He wasn't getting off like he should on 32 and not on 36. He did pretty good on 34. I think this bit will make the right difference. Jay Kessler and his logging partner Brian Allen driving him in. Ooh, got it by the skin of his
And they
teeth.
got it. Jay Kessler with Dick and Jimmy. 27.5 feet.
I wish we could look right there.
Next up, 3,800 pounds. You're looking for Bill Howard, team one, with Frank and Sam coming in next. Armisen and Clark, you're on deck. Qualified draw for Bill Howard with Frank and Sam. And they got it. Another qualified draw there for Armisen and Clark with Charlie and Tommy. Jim Perrin doing next with Herm and King. Jason Abe.
Whoa. Here. 15 feet 10. 15 feet 10 inches for Jim Perrin on that attempt.
They'll be back for their third in just a little while. Brings up Jason Abel with Razor and Simon doing next. Bill Howard, Team 2, you're on deck. And they got it on that attempt. Qualified draw for that team. Jason Averill with Razor and Simon. 11 feet even on their first attempt. Qualified draw on the second.
You notice
11
on
even.
Jason's
and a
team, they
qualified
were
draw
still
there for
moving
Jason
when he
Averill.
called them off. But he let that... Billy Howard making it look easy on 3,800.
And they got it. Qualified draw for Bill Howard with Pete and Jim. Tony Solomon's coming in next with Prince and Final.
Yes, that's our cue, Kaylee. Billy Howard making it look easy on 3,800.
And they got it. Qualified draw for Bill Howard with Pete and Jim. Tony Solomon's coming in next with Prince and Final.
Yes, that's our cue, Kaylee.
"23 feet 3 inches. Greg Gearman, 23 feet 10 inches on his first attempt, 17-11 on the second. 23-10 and 17-11. They'll be back for their third hook in just a bit. Once we reset the machine,
That's called thresholds. Jason Averill, last team to take the first hitch on this one.
qualified draw for Jason Averill with Jimmy and Eddie, 27.5 feet.
My buddy Jim Barron, Herman King.
Herm.
I missed his draw, first draw, 38.
I didn't.
I think he went around 17 feet.
Whoa!
We might change our mind about third pitches, especially if we had it sitting right there.
Tony Solomon with Prince and Final.
Tony Solomon coming in with Prince and Final, Centerville Connection.
Prince
You're on deck.
facing me now. And now Final.
24 feet 10 inches. How about a round of applause for that team? 24 feet 10 inches. Out in the audience, and we welcome Jessica Underberg as well, our CEO of the Erie County Fair tonight. And you fans, thank you so much for joining us for a great tradition here. We still have a couple more hooks on this way to 3,800 as we reset the machine and get ready for Centerville Connection and their third attempt coming up.
Looks like he changed his mind about the hitch.
Just a reminder for the teams, you have to remain trackside till you are released by our judges tonight. 22 feet 9 inches. How about a round of applause? That's going to do it for them tonight. 22 feet 9 inches, the longest draw for that team there on that weight. Look on this weight, judges.
Speed demon right there. Nick is a speed demon.
And they got it. Qualified draw for Greg Bierman with Wyatt and Bud. Going to go ahead and add some more weight to our machine. Get ready for the next round as we get ready to head to the top of the order. 4,000 on the machine now. 4,000.
4,000. That's a good load on this truck. On this sand. Well, we did take a third. We went about 5 feet more. That was the only good start I had all night. And the reason is Donnie drove them into me. Oh, the sun's kind of setting here in Erie County. Last time I said the sun's setting on a horse bull, that big guy right there won the state championship. That stud horse did.
Dodge, Bowman, and April to pull first on this one. This is
Bucky
Rock and
Dodge
Fred.
driving them tonight.
Jake Hessler, you're on deck.
Stallion kicked that Owen. Did you see it?
Now they like him rowdy. Elvis was on this mark. Once I could get him started. Tell you what, Bucky did better than that than he did 3,800.
27.5 feet for Dodge, Bowman, and April with Rock and Fred.
Good hitch
Jake
right
Hessler is
there.
coming in next with Dick and Jimmy. Bill Howard, Team 1. You're on deck.
Walk around the truck here quick before Jay gets in here. Here's the skid plate I was talking about that we put under his front wheels. Because the truck pulls easier than activating the hydraulics. It would just roll up on them and we'd never activate the hydraulics. So we have to put that skid plate on. Make the truck pull harder. Jake Hessler is from Millerton, Pennsylvania. Kaylee Ruthie. Jay says 4,000's heavy here tonight. Jay likes that spot on the track. He's going to give him a little wind. Make it ready. He's going to back him up a little step, put a little snap in there. They're going to hit it hard and hopefully take it a long way. Not what he was looking for. This time he'll call on them. Boy, that's going to put Jay way up front with that pole. So far, Bucky Dodge is sitting up front. Of course, there have been two
For
teams.
Jay Kessler, 14 feet even on the first attempt.
14 feet.
23 feet and 1 inch on the second.
Bobby Howard, team number 1.
And the qualified draw again for Bill Howard with Frank and Sam. Armisen and Clark do.
Armisen and Clark, Caleb Armisen. Charlie and Tommy. What a hell of a job just getting on this load here tonight. He crossed 3,800 on one try, and here he is on 4,000. Hell of a night. Nice draw. Looks to be about a 19-foot draw.
$20 feet, 1 inch.
20 and 1.
20 feet, 1 inch on their first attempt. They'll pass on their next attempt. Jason Abel's coming in next with Razor and Simon.
Most of the time, Teamsters will pass on their second attempt.
Bill Howard,
Horses
team 2, you're
are
on
just
deck.
tired.
This is Jason Abel with
The
Razor and
exception
Simon.
is, if you just didn't go very far in your first, you didn't get a good start, sometimes you'll stand them up and take a second. Or, like Jay Kessler was right down there, he was in a really good spot on the track and he wanted to take advantage of that. But most of the time you'll pass your second, and come back and make some adjustments, get it on the third. Nick, focus. Nick's telling jokes. Wonder where he gets that from. Whoop. Focus, Nick. Focus. Got him on that time. A lot of load. He might take a second. A lot of times I find us Western New York guys are less likely to take a second, more likely to pass altogether than a lot of other places I've pulled horses. A lot of guys take all 3 hitches every time. And beat us every time doing it too, some of them do. Get you up here where you can see a little better. Daughter Nora and Dante.
Oh, whose phone is that?
This is Nick's. Hmm? No. Storage is full. Looks like that near side horse just doesn't want it as much as the other. Hell of a
For
pull.
Jason Averill, first attempt of 15 even, 18 feet and 1 inch on her second attempt. Again, 15 even and 18-1 on her second attempt. We'll see them in just a bit for their third draw. Looking for Bill Howard with Pete.
Can I get parked? Is there somewhere for me to park? Bobby Howard's number 2 team, which I think is the even better team.
Applause for that team. It's going to wrap it up for them. 15 feet 9 inch, 3-1, the longest attempt on this weight for that team.
15 and 9 for Jay Kessler. Got to talk about Ira.
Armisen and Clark doing next with.
A couple points of interest. We got Elvis over here. We finished down the line quite a ways. But there's Elvie. I think he's the only horse that's not all Belgian here. Elvis is quarter percher. His mama was a black mare, half percher and half Belgian. And he's out of MCD Hooker, CD Rock stud. And Elvis is also the only horse here with flat shoes, not pulling quarters. And the team that just looked on had extra pulling quarters. Had one right out the front even. Belonging to Jason Averill. Just wanted to show this toe cork. Here's a regular toe cork going down into the dirt and one right off at a 90. That's why that team won. He gets right up and knuckles up and draws and uses both toe corks. Super swampers. A few different things I do, mainly because I'm a logger. Jay Kessler had a first and second that looked pretty good. Didn't quite get 40-100 across. He crossed it pretty easy up to Syracuse last year. 3 teams have this. Both the Jason Averill's and Wayne Dodge's team. And Wayne Dodge's team is the same team that won in Angelica about a month ago. The stud and the gelding there. He's really got him pulled. Jay Kessler been around this his whole life. Ira was his dad. Ira was quite a horse puller. Always pulled lightweights. Pulled one horse way into his 20s. Early 20s anyway, at a really high level too. I'd say it's in low. Wow, they hit it hard. Quite a start. Alright, we missed one hitch. I messed up Nick's phone. I couldn't figure it out. Greg Gertman had a 4.8. And now it's Greg's buddy Carl Root driving his dad's team. Franny Root's lightweight team here. Yeah, we didn't get on 40 on. Oh well.
Get over, Mike.
I can skip are the horses. Carl says, whoa, well, they're still drawing. Carl's going to take a second hitch by the look. Carl is really good at wait, being patient. If you're taking 30 seconds up there, it seems like 30 minutes to give those guys a rest between hitches. Carl's got a lot of patience. About like the first hitch.
For Frances Root, 11 feet 10 inches on her first attempt and 11.3 on the second. 11.10 and 11.3 for Frances Root. Jason Abrams coming up next with Jimmy and Eddie. Jay Kessler, your third attempt on deck. Armisen and Clark, third attempt in the hole.
This
This will be
is
Jason
the last
Abel
team
with Jimmy and Eddie.
to take a first hitch on 4000. Jason April's second team here. Got at least two have this across. You're fine, Bucky. Good bowling.
I ain't fine, but I'm still. Whoa! There's good for
We got it across now, right? No? Just you and another guy, right, Buck?
Howard.
Yeah, Bobby Howard and Buck Dodge. Only two to cross this load.
See that? See them shoes?
I did.
I had them on a horse once because they try so hard, they bend over and their feet come out. The way it catches, you watch them catch.
Yeah, no, I saw
I
it.
used it on my horse till he died, and I only had him a year.
Remember that spotted one Doug Smith had? I always wondered if that would have helped
It
him.
would have. I was in Kentucky when a guy took.
Horse on this side,
Yeah.
knuckles over.
Yeah.
And he's got a cork going right out the front of his shoe as well as one on the bottom. So when he knuckles them, heels right over, he's still got traction. See that? See how that horse knuckles? And he's got a toe cork heading right straight out on a 90-degree angle. And you just crossed 40.
And they got it. Qualified draw 20.
Bobby Howard, first hitch, 4000. Doing it the hard way, by God. What a horseman. Bobby Howard. Hell of a bull. But that truck has to go back, though. Bobby's from
25
Acme,
feet, 5
Pennsylvania.
inches.
Bobby and Billy Howard.
25 feet 5 inches on that attempt.
Man, he damn near had it the hard way. It's a game of constant adjustments. They're down there changing the eveners, setting one horse in a little, evening out the strength difference, or the effort difference anyway. Didn't look like either one of those horses had much more effort left in them. They were working.
This will be the second attempt for Bill Howard with Pete and Jim.
We're at Hamburg up here at Erie County Fair. This is Buffalo Raceway where they race standard breds. Is it Fire Your Guns? Holds a record up here. Him in Bahama Bay. Used to anyway. Fire Your Guns. Hometown boy from where I live. He had a blistering fast record up to Vernon Downs too, that pacing horse did. And he also held it at Batavia for a while. Here we're pulling Bobby Howard, 4000, second attempt. This is what we call on the spot, where that truck is. They hurt Bobby's foot. Not quite.
4 feet 1 inch. 4 feet 1 inch. He'll be back for the third attempt in just a
25
bit.
and change was his best attempt on the first. Wayne Dodge. I think there's only two across. There's your state championship right here. The one at Angelica on the 17th, the line. And they just took 42.50. 19 feet, I'm guessing. Hell of a draw.
20 feet 5 inches.
20 feet,
20 feet,
5
5 inches.
inches.
A pass on his second attempt. That brings up Bill Howard with
Oh, yeah,
Frank and
Bill
Sam.
Howard and Jason Averill. Okay, those are the three we have.
Jason Abel on deck.
20 feet, 3 inches. What a draw right there by Buck Dodge. Dodge, Averill. Whoever else's team. You got your phone, Nick?
Yes, I do.
Acme, Pennsylvania. It's Bob Howard. 42.50. Distance to beat so far is 20 feet something. Got the rope on the first hitch. If you touch rope, boundary ropes, you're I think you're 15 feet apart. That disqualifies that hitch. Up in New England, there's chalk rope, and it's like baseball. You can touch the rope, but you can't go over it. Got a horse with the bit fell off. Bit fell out right there, and Bobby saw it. That's why they went to the heads. Right here's what happened to Bob on the first hitch. Had a rubber bit in the mouth. They have a cable in there, but it broke. Bob caught it, and the horse behaved well. Got another smooth bit in his mouth. And back in business on the second hitch here. He was over the rope on the first, actually. Could have had something to do with that bit breaking, too. That was a well-handled situation, by the way. For Bob to be keen enough to see that, keep him calm, helpers to help. Well-handled situation. Because if you don't have a bit, you don't have nothing. Place to be, Buck died. Looks like we've done it. They're out there 25 feet, 24 and a half.
24 feet 6. Nice round of applause for them on that second attempt. 24 feet 6. Jason Averill is coming in with Jimmy and Eddie for their first attempt. Dodge, Bowman, and Averill on deck.
That's Jason Averill. Jason Averill. Last team take first hitch on 42.50. Right out at that's your best draw so far. That's a 26-foot draw.
26 feet 7 inches.
26 and 7.
26 and 7 for Jason Averill with Jimmy and Eddie.
All three teams are within 1.5 feet of each other right here.
So we go to you're on deck for your third attempt.
Sun's coming
Jason
out.
Averill in the hole for your third
We've got
attempt.
3 teams taking a third attempt. Buck Dodge.
So far, 20 feet 5 inches, the longest attempt for this team.
26 and a half for Bobby Howard. And a little bit longer. Can't remember. Jason Averill was a little longer, I think. No, I don't know much. But I think Buck Dodge might have the best hitch on this track right now. After this, Buck doesn't have to move this 5 feet. It's going to go back down there on the spot, and it's going to pull harder. Horses are feeling groovy. This is the team that won the state championship at Angelica. Wayne was driving them that night. The old racehorse trainer, Bucky's driving them today. 42.50 is a lot of weight.
Whoa.
You get them latched on here. Bill Howard.
This will be Bill Howard with Frank and Sam.
I lied to you. There were not 3 teams within 1.5 feet. There were 3 teams within 5-6 feet. Dodge's best draw was 20 feet 5 inches. These 2 teams that are left are within 1 foot of each other. Bobby Howard sitting in second place, not by much. about as loud as I've heard Bob get. Quiet driving normally. Not going to do what he did on the first. That's going to be your horse pull. Jason Abrils going to win it.
Yeah, it's over.
Bob Howard second. Bill Howard second. Hell of a contest here in Erie County. Jason
13
Abril
feet,
wins.
8 inches. Round of applause for them.
Bobby
13
Howard
feet,
second.
8 inches.
Third place is
24.6
Dodge.
was the longest attempt. Jason
Heck
Abril
of a
going next to
contest
the
here
third
tonight.
set.
He won the pull.
Next to the east of the announcer's booth. And also teams, please stay in position until released by the vet. Thank you. Here we go with our winning order for tonight. Congratulations to Jason Abril. Second place goes to Bill Howard.
Yeah, I was real happy.
Third place to Dodge.
They stayed down pretty good for you, didn't they?
Fourth place to Bill Howard, Team 2.
You got on that heavy of a load, the first was going to get
time.
Jay Kessler takes Team 5, or position 5 for the evening. Augustin and Clark finishes 6th.
Is that right?
Wayne Dodge will finish 7th.
Yeah.
Francis Root finishing 8th.
Yeah, I know.
Greg Bierman finishes 9th. Jim Perrin finishing 10th this evening. Tony Solomon will finish 11th.
That worked well.
Centerville Connection finishing 12th. And Randy Brundage, 13th position for the evening.
I don't think so. Jason Abril's first place team. Where are you from in Kentucky, Jason?
Columbia.
Columbia to Kentucky. You been up in New York pulling before?
Second time I've ever been here.
Yeah. Well, it's a good time for you. Hell of a pull on 42.50. Enough to win the Hamburg Fair.